Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultz and welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you my recipe and procedure for making a Hungarian classic, Töltött Káposzta, or stuffed cabbage. Stuffed cabbage is usually served around the holidays, Christmas and Easter, and then if I was really lucky, my grandmother would make it for me in June for my birthday. This dish is not very hard to make. However, there is 1,000,001 recipes for it. Each family, each region, everybody has their own version. And it ranges from using beef, mixing beef and pork, only using pork, making a roux to help thicken the liquid or not using it, adding tomatoes, no tomatoes. Hey, does it make one right or wrong? No, it just makes it different. And I'm willing to bet that there's not a bad stuffed cabbage out there. So join me now as I show you how I prepare mine. Well, to begin, let's have a pot of salted water on medium-high heat, and we want to bring it to a simmer. That is what we're going to blanch the head of cabbage in. So now I have a saute pan heating over medium-high heat. I'm going to add a little oil, and let's go ahead and sweat our onions. We're going to go ahead and continue to sweat these for about 3 minutes or so until they become translucent and very aromatic. We are not looking to really put any color on them. We are merely trying to extract the flavor. Well, here we are after about 2.5 minutes or so. They're starting to become a little translucent. Nice aroma. Now let's go ahead and add our garlic. I'm going to go ahead and continue to sweat this. Well, now for the filling, what I like to do is I will use sweet paprika or édes paprika and some of the csipös or the spicy paprika. I like to mix it half and half or 75-25, just to help give it a little more oomph. Ground caraway. Let's add some salt. And pepper. And now we will add our rice, uncooked white rice that has been rinsed. And let's go ahead, oops, almost forgot. Let's add our onions and garlic. It is now cooled down. Now we go ahead and mix. So now we got our mix. Let's go ahead and set this to the side, and now we're going to blanch our cabbage. Now for the cabbage, let's go ahead and core it. Simply take your knife, cut around the core, pointing your knife on an angle, kind of like a 45-degree or so, and go in a couple inches, pull back, and just work your way around. Be very careful that you do not stab yourself. And voila. And you can also take a little bit of this out too if you need to. Not really necessary, because as you get into their cooking, as we start to blanch it, this will loosen up, and we just gently pull the leaves out and we set them off to the side to cool down and get prepared for filling them. Well, my water is almost up to a simmer. What I'll do is I'll take my head of cabbage and I'd like pull it apart a little bit, just to kind of stretch it, loosen it up. And let's go ahead and lay it in the water. And we're gonna let it continue to cook like this or blanch until the leaves start to loosen up. And then we just gently pull them out using tongs or a fork, whichever's easiest for you. There you go. Leaf starting to pull off. And I'll just set mine on a plate, allow it to cool, and then just continue patiently allowing these to pull off. Well, there you are. We're getting down to about the end of the usable leaf. This thing doesn't have much color to it. I really don't like it, but I'm certainly not going to waste it. So what I'm going to do from here is this is going to be all the ones that I stuff. If I have extra meat, no problem. We will make porcupine balls. And the rest of the cabbage, we're just going to chop it up into what my family called loose, just because it was just chopped up and thrown into the pot and just eat it as is. So let's remove that as well. And we're going to allow these to cool slightly, enough that we can manage them with your hands. And we are ready to begin stuffing and rolling. So now, to fill these, what you're going to do is, you see this rib that's here? That's going to cause you a lot of problems. I ain't going to lie to you. So what you'll want to do, what I do is this, is I lay it flat. I will take my knife and run it across that rib, like so. And then I'm going to make a little split like this into it. I want to remove some of that rib because it is very tough. And the issue with that is when you try to roll it, it's not going to enable you to roll it tight enough. It's really going to be a pain in the neck. So we have our leaf cleaned out. Let's go ahead and take some of our meat mixture. Loosely put it together. Don't pack it too tight. And now what I do is I will fold up. I will bring my ends in and then roll it. And there you have it. That's simple. So now I will repeat that with all the remaining leaves. And the ribs, they are usable product. You can throw that in with the loose cabbage. Again, why waste it? Let's use it all, utilize everything. So to begin, I'm going to throw a little bit of water or stock at the bottom, just enough to cover the bottom. And let's go ahead and add some of that loose cabbage I spoke of. And this is optional here, sauerkraut. I like putting the sauerkraut in there. I really enjoy the fermented flavor. Now let's go ahead and season a little bit of salt. Don't go crazy. Pepper. I would at this time say add your caraway seed, but my sauerkraut already contains caraway, so we don't need to. Bay leaf. Édes paprika. Now I will add my bone, my smoked bone. This is a homemade Mongolica ham I did, and had the bone left over for this purpose. And what I'm going to do is I will include the link at the bottom on how to make your own hazi shonka, or homemade ham. So now let's begin putting in our cabbage rolls. We have that. Now let's add a little bit of tomato. And this is another optional one. Some people like to just use the paprika for the color. Some people will use tomato juice, tomato sauce. To each his own. Now, I will add a little more water, or stock again, and we're going to put enough in just to kind of cover it. And then let's repeat the process with our sauerkraut and cabbage. What I like to do, as you've seen, is I like to layer everything. That way, it kind of makes the dish a little more even. And now we're porcupine balls. And these, I will just kind of tuck them in anywhere. Doesn't really matter. A little more for good measure. And this I like to do for fun is I will add a csipös paprika or Hungarian wax pepper. That is just, I want to put a little bit of bite to it. I don't want to make it too spicy. If I would have used straight csipös paprika, the ground, it would have made this too spicy. This will do it right. Now we're going to put it on medium heat, bring it to a simmer, turn it to low, put a lid on it, and allow it to braise or simmer for about 45 minutes to 1 hour until everything is cooked. Well, there you have it. Whether you're in Hungary and you're calling it Töltött Káposzta, if you're in America and you're calling it cabbage rolls, stuffed cabbage, or pigs in a blanket, and not to be confused with the pigs in a blanket in Britain, or halupki in Slovak, or if you're in southwestern Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh more accurately, they haven't affectionately named it the hunky hand grenade. Doesn't matter whatever you call it. At the end of the day, you were going to call it one hell of a meal. It is a great dish, not difficult to make, and the sky's the limit with it. You can have as much flavor as you want. You could substitute and put ground turkey in it, ground chicken, whatever you feel. Well, I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Give it a shot. Hopefully there's some things that I did in it, flavor enhancers and such, that would inspire you to try it and give it a whirl. Let me know your thoughts and feedback. Thank you very much. You had fun.